The wind howled outside, rattling the windows of the grand mansion. Rain lashed against the glass, casting distorted shadows across the lavish furnishings. Amara stood in the foyer, her heart pounding in her chest. The echo of Sebastian's harsh words lingered in the air like a bitter taste. "You're weak, Amara. You can't stand on your own," he had spat, his eyes cold and unfeeling. "You've depended on me for everything since the day we met." She clenched her fists at her sides, fighting back tears. "That's not true," she insisted, her voice barely above a whisper. He scoffed, adjusting the cufflinks on his tailored suit. "Isn't it? Look around you. Everything you have is because of me. Without me, you'd be nothing." Amara felt a sharp sting at his words but held her ground. "I may not have your wealth, but that doesn't make me weak." Sebastian laughed bitterly. "We'll see how long you last without my support. You have 5 children to care for." A clap of thunder shook the house, mirroring the turmoil inside her. "They are your children too," she reminded him, desperation creeping into her tone. He picked up his suitcase, the finality of his movements sending a chill down her spine. "Not anymore. I'm done with this charade." Without another glance, he walked out the door, leaving Amara standing alone. The sound of the door slamming shut echoed through the empty halls. She stood there, trembling, as the reality of the situation settled over her like a heavy fog. The man she once loved had abandoned her and their 5 children without a second thought. Upstairs, she could hear the muffled laughter of her children, oblivious to the storm that had just torn their family apart. She knew she couldn't let them see her crumble. Taking a deep breath, she straightened her shoulders and wiped away the single tear that had escaped. "Mom?" A small voice called from the top of the stairs. It was Malik, her 10-year-old son, his eyes wide with concern. Amara forced a smile. "Everything's fine, sweetheart. Come down and help me set the table for dinner." He hesitated for a moment before nodding. "Okay." As she watched him descend the stairs, she made a silent promise to herself. No matter what Sebastian thought of her, she would not let his cruel words define her. She would prove him wrong. Chapter 2. Picking up the pieces. The next morning, the sun broke through the clouds, bathing the mansion in a golden light. But inside, the atmosphere was heavy. Amara sat at the kitchen table, bills spread out before her. The numbers blurred together as she tried to make sense of their finances. "Mom, where's Dad?" asked Jasmine, her 14-year-old daughter, entering the kitchen with a concerned expression. Amara looked up, meeting her daughter's gaze. "Your father had to go away for a while." Jasmine frowned. "When is he coming back?" "I'm not sure," Amara admitted, her heart aching at the uncertainty in her daughter's eyes. "Did he leave because of us?" Malik asked, joining them at the table. "No, honey," Amara reassured him quickly. "This is something between your father and me." Layla, Noah, and little Aiden wandered into the kitchen, sensing the tension. Amara took a deep breath. "Listen, I know things are a bit confusing right now, but we're going to be okay. We have each other, and that's what's important." "Do you need help with anything?" Jasmine offered, glancing at the stack of bills. Amara smiled softly. "I'll handle it, but thank you. Why don't you all get ready for school?" As the children dispersed, Amara returned her attention to the daunting pile before her. Sebastian had controlled all their finances, and now she realized just how unprepared she was for this new reality. With determination, she picked up the phone and began making calls. She needed to find out where they stood financially and what steps she needed to take to keep her family afloat. Hours later, after navigating a labyrinth of automated systems and indifferent customer service representatives, she hung up the phone with a sinking feeling. Their accounts were tied up, and access was limited, without Sebastian's authorization. She felt a surge of anger. How could he leave them in such a vulnerable position? But wallowing wouldn't solve anything. She needed a plan. Chapter 3. Taking the First Step. That evening, after the children were asleep, Amara sat down with a notebook and pen. She listed out all their expenses and any resources she might have access to. She realized that she needed to find a job and fast. The next morning, she dressed in her best professional attire and prepared to face the world. "Jasmine, I need you to watch your siblings after school today." "Are you going somewhere?" Jasmine asked. "I'm going to look for a job," Amara replied, attempting to sound confident. Jasmine's eyes widened. "But you've never worked before." Amara gave her a reassuring smile. "It's never too late to start." Her daughter nodded, a hint of admiration in her gaze. "I can handle things here." "Thank you," Amara said, squeezing her hand. Stepping out into the bustling city streets, Amara felt a mix of anxiety and determination. She hadn't worked since before she married Sebastian, but she refused to let that hold her back. She visited numerous businesses, filling out applications and handing in resumes. At each place, she put on a brave face, emphasizing her organizational skills and her ability to learn quickly. By the end of the day, her feet ached, and her spirits were low. She had faced more rejections than she anticipated, with many employers skeptical of her lack of recent experience. As she stood waiting for the bus home, the weight of the day pressed down on her. But just as doubt began to creep in, she caught sight of a flyer on a community board, "Local market hiring all positions." Clutching the flyer, she made her way to the market, a small family-owned store nestled between two larger buildings. The atmosphere was warm and inviting. "Can I help you?" asked an older woman behind the counter. "Yes, I'm here about the job openings," Amara said. The woman smiled kindly. "I'm Mrs. Thompson. We could use some help around here. Do you have any experience?" "Not recently, but I'm a quick learner," Amara replied earnestly. Mrs. Thompson studied her for a moment. "I believe in giving people a chance. Can you start tomorrow?" Relief washed over Amara. "Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much." Chapter 4. New Challenges. Working at the market was a new experience for Amara. She spent her days stocking shelves, assisting customers, and learning the ins and outs of retail. At first, it was overwhelming. Her body ached from the physical labor, and she worried about leaving the children at home. But each day, she grew more confident in her abilities. One afternoon, as she arranged a display of fresh produce, Mrs. Thompson approached her. "You're doing a fine job, Amara." "Thank you," she replied gratefully. "You mentioned you have children. How are they adjusting?" Mrs. Thompson asked gently. "It's been a big change for all of us," Amara admitted. "But we're managing." Mrs. Thompson nodded knowingly. "If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask." "I appreciate that," Amara said sincerely. At home, Jasmine proved to be a reliable helper, ensuring that her siblings were cared for. One evening, Amara found her daughter preparing dinner. "You're amazing," Amara told her, wrapping her in a hug. Jasmine smiled. "I just want to help." "You're a lifesaver," Amara said, her heart swelling with pride. Chapter 5. Rediscovering Passion. Despite the progress, financial strains persisted. One night, as Amara sorted through old boxes in search of items to sell, she stumbled upon her old sketchbooks and art supplies. She sat on the floor, flipping through pages filled with drawings from a different time. A time when she had dreams of becoming an artist, before life took her down a different path. An idea sparked in her mind. What if she could revive her passion for art? Perhaps it could provide a source of income and fulfillment. With renewed energy, she set up a small workspace in the corner of her bedroom. Every night after the children were asleep, she immersed herself in creating again. Her artwork flowed with emotion pieces that reflected her journey, her struggles, and her hopes. It became an outlet, for the feelings she had kept bottled up. One day, Mrs. Thompson noticed the sketches peeking out of Amara's bag. "These are wonderful," she remarked. Amara blushed. "Oh, they're just something I do in my spare time. Have you ever considered showcasing your work?" Mrs. Thompson asked. "I wouldn't know where to start," Amara admitted. "There's an art fair coming up in the community," Mrs. Thompson suggested. "You should enter." Amara hesitated. "I don't know if I'm ready for that." "Think about it," Mrs. Thompson encouraged. "You have real talent." Chapter 6. Taking a Leap. After much contemplation, Amara decided to participate in the art fair. With Jasmine's help, she selected her best pieces and prepared for the event. The day of the fair arrived, and Amara set up her booth nervously. The venue was filled with artists and patrons, the air buzzing with excitement. "Mom, everything looks great," Jasmine assured her. "Thank you for being here with me," Amara said, squeezing her hand. As the fair progressed, visitors stopped by her booth, admiring her work. Many were captivated by the depth of emotion conveyed in her paintings. "Your art is so evocative," one woman commented. "I'd love to purchase this piece." Amara was stunned. "Thank you." "Of course." By the end of the day, she had sold several paintings and received contact information from people interested in commissions. Driving home, Amara felt a sense of accomplishment she hadn't experienced in years. "I can't believe it," she said aloud. "I knew you could do it," Jasmine said proudly. Amara smiled. "Maybe this is the start of something new." Chapter 7. Growing Success. Word spread about Amara's talent. She began receiving requests for custom artwork and invitations to showcase her pieces in local galleries. Balancing her job at the market and her art became challenging but fulfilling. She managed her time carefully, dedicating herself fully to both pursuits. One evening, as she worked on a commission, there was a knock at the door. Opening it, she found a well-dressed woman holding a portfolio. "Good evening. My name is Claire Matthews," the woman introduced herself. "I'm an art agent. May I speak with you?" Amara invited her in, curious about the unexpected visit. "I came across your work at the gallery," Claire explained. "I'm impressed by your unique style and emotional depth." "Thank you," Amara replied modestly. "I believe your art has significant potential," Claire continued. "I'd like to represent you and help bring your work to a wider audience." Amara's eyes widened. "That sounds incredible." "With your permission, I'd like to arrange an exhibition featuring your pieces," Claire proposed. Amara felt a surge of excitement mixed with apprehension. "I would love that, but I have commitments here." "Of course. We can work around your schedule," Claire assured her. After discussing the details, Amara agreed to move forward. As Claire left, Amara sat back, hardly believing the turn her life was taking. Chapter 8. Overcoming Doubts. The upcoming exhibition brought new pressures. Amara worried about whether she could meet the expectations being placed on her. One night, as she struggled with a painting, Jasmine entered the room. "You seem stressed," her daughter observed. "I'm just feeling a bit overwhelmed," Amara confessed. "You're amazing, Mom. Don't doubt yourself." Amara smiled gratefully. "Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you." "You've taught us to never give up," Jasmine reminded her. "Now it's time for you to believe it too." Her daughter's words resonated deeply. Taking a deep breath, Amara refocused her energy, letting her creativity flow without restraint. Chapter 9. The Exhibition. The night of the exhibition arrived. The gallery was elegantly decorated, and Amara's artwork was prominently displayed. She stood with Claire, watching as guests admired her paintings. "This is a fantastic turnout," Claire remarked. Amara nodded, her nerves fluttering. "It's all so surreal." "Enjoy the moment," Claire advised. As she mingled with attendees, Amara received countless compliments and inquiries about her work. Several pieces sold that evening, and she secured additional commissions. "Your work speaks to me," an elderly gentleman told her. "There's a depth and authenticity that's rare." "Thank you so much," Amara replied, humbled. Toward the end of the evening, as she stood near one of her favorite pieces, she felt a familiar presence. Turning, she found herself face to face with Sebastian. Her breath caught in her throat. "Sebastian?" He looked at her with a mixture of surprise and admiration. "Amara, this is—" She regained her composure. "What are you doing here?" "I heard about the exhibition," he explained. "I didn't realize it was your work." She studied him cautiously. "Well, now you know." He gestured to the painting beside them. "This is remarkable." "Thank you," she said stiffly. There was a moment of awkward silence before he spoke again. "Could we talk?" Amara glanced around. "I'm not sure this is the time or place." "Please," he implored. She considered his request, then nodded reluctantly. "Fine." They moved to a quieter corner of the gallery. "You've changed so much," he commented. "People tend to do that over 8 years," she replied coolly. He sighed. "I deserve that." "What do you want, Sebastian?" she asked bluntly. "I wanted to see you," he admitted. "To see how you and the children are doing." "We're doing well," she said simply. "I can see that," he said, a hint of regret in his voice. "Amara, I know I have no right to ask, but could we start over?" She raised an eyebrow. "Start over? After you walked out on us without so much as a goodbye?" "I made mistakes," he acknowledged. "Leaving you was the biggest one." She shook her head. "You didn't just leave me. You left our children. Do you have any idea what that did to them?" He looked down. "I've thought about it every day." "Why now?" she demanded. "Why come back after all this time?" "I've changed," he said earnestly. "I realized what truly matters." She regarded him skeptically. "People don't change overnight." "I know," he conceded. "But I'd like a chance to make things right." She took a deep breath. "I need to think about it. That's all I ask," he said softly. Chapter 10. Conflicting Emotions. That night, Amara lay awake, her mind racing. Seeing Sebastian again stirred up emotions she thought she had long buried. The next morning, over breakfast, she decided to tell the children. "I saw your father last night," she announced. 4 pairs of eyes turned to her, expressions ranging from shock to curiosity. "Dad's back?" Malik asked cautiously. "He came to the exhibition," Amara explained. "He wants to see you." Jasmine folded her arms. "After all this time?" "I know it's a lot to process," Amara said gently. "You don't have to decide anything right now." "Do you want us to see him?" Noah questioned. "I want you to do what's best for you," she replied. "It's your choice." Layla glanced at her siblings. I think I'd like to see him." Malik nodded slowly. "Me too." Jasmine remained silent, her expression unreadable. "Think it over," Amara encouraged. "Whatever you decide, I'll support you." Chapter 11. The Reunion. A week later, they arranged to meet Sebastian at a local park. Amara watched from a distance as he approached the children. "Hi," he greeted them, a mixture of hope and apprehension in his eyes. "Hi," Malik responded cautiously. Layla smiled nervously. "Hi, Dad." Noah stood silently, while Jasmine hung back, her guard up. Sebastian took a seat on a nearby bench. "Thank you for meeting me." There was an awkward silence before Malik spoke. "Why did you leave us?" Sebastian sighed heavily. "I thought I was doing what was best at the time, but I was wrong." Layla fiddled with the hem of her shirt. "Why didn't you come back sooner?" "I was afraid," he admitted. "Afraid you wouldn't want to see me." Noah finally spoke. "It hurt when you left." "I know," Sebastian said softly. And I'm so sorry. Jasmine stepped forward. Sorry isn't enough. He looked at her earnestly. I understand. I don't expect forgiveness overnight. She met his gaze. We're not the same kids you left behind. I can see that, he acknowledged. You're all amazing, and that's because of your mother. At the mention of Amara, they glanced over to where she stood watching. Can we go talk to Mom? Layla asked. Of course, Sebastian said. Take your time. They walked over to Amara, expressions conflicted. How did it go? She asked gently. I don't know. Malik shrugged. He seems different, Layla observed. Jasmine crossed her arms. I still don't trust him. That's okay, Amara assured her. You don't have to make any decisions right now. Chapter 12. Navigating New Terrain. Over the next few weeks, the children met with Sebastian periodically. Amara maintained a respectful distance, focusing on her work and giving them space to form their own opinions. One afternoon, Sebastian approached her outside the community center where she volunteered. Amara, may I speak with you? She considered for a moment before nodding. What is it? I wanted to thank you for allowing me back into their lives, he said sincerely. I'm not doing it for you, she replied. I'm doing it for them. I know, he acknowledged, but I'm grateful nonetheless. She looked at him steadily. What are your intentions, Sebastian? He met her gaze. I want to be a part of their lives, and if possible, to make amends with you. She raised an eyebrow. You think we can just pick up where we left off? I don't expect that, he said quickly. But maybe we could start as friends. She sighed. Trust isn't something that's easily rebuilt. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, he insisted. She considered his words. Time will tell. Chapter 13. Gradual Acceptance. As months passed, Sebastian proved consistent in his efforts. He attended Malik's soccer games, helped Noah with school projects, and even volunteered at the community center. Amara watched as the children began to warm up to him. Even Jasmine seemed less resistant, engaging in guarded conversations. One evening, after a particularly successful fundraising event, Sebastian approached Amara. The center is really making a difference, he remarked. Yes, it's been a labor of love, she replied. You're incredible, he said earnestly. You've built all this while raising our children. She glanced at him. I had to. He nodded. I admire your strength. Thank you, she said quietly. There was a moment of comfortable silence before he spoke again. Would you like to have dinner sometime? As friends? She hesitated. I'm not sure that's a good idea. I understand, he said, a hint of disappointment in his eyes. No pressure. She softened slightly. Perhaps we could arrange a family dinner. He smiled. I'd like that. Chapter 14. Family Bonds. The family dinners became a regular occurrence. They shared stories, laughter, and gradually the initial tension eased. One night, as they sat around the table, Jasmine brought out an old photo album. Remember this? She asked, pointing to a picture of them at the beach. Everyone leaned in to look. That was a fun day, Malik recalled. It was, Amara agreed, casting a glance at Sebastian. He smiled nostalgically. Maybe we could plan another trip. The children exchanged excited looks. Can we, Mom? Noah asked eagerly. Amara considered. I don't see why not. The trip was filled with cherished moments, building sandcastles, watching sunsets, and rekindling connections. Late one evening, as they walked along the shore, Sebastian turned to Amara. This feels right, he said softly. She looked out at the ocean. It's been good for the kids. It's been good for all of us, he gently corrected. She met his gaze. Sebastian. He held up a hand. I won't push. I just wanted you to know how I feel. She nodded, appreciating his restraint. Thank you. Chapter 15. Rediscovering love. Back home, life settled into a comfortable rhythm. Sebastian continued to be present, and his relationship with Amara deepened. One afternoon, he surprised her at her art studio. "I brought lunch," he announced, holding up a basket. She smiled. "You didn't have to do that." "I wanted to," he said, setting up a small picnic area. They ate together, discussing everything from art to community projects. The conversation flowed effortlessly. "You're different," she observed. He looked at her thoughtfully. "I've learned a lot these past years, about what's truly important." She nodded. "I'm glad." He reached across the table, taking her hand gently. "Amara, I still love you." Her heart skipped a beat. "Sebastian, this is complicated." "I know," he acknowledged, "but I needed to tell you." She withdrew her hand slowly. "I need time to process this." He smiled gently. "Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere." Chapter 16. Embracing the future. Weeks turned into months, and Amara found herself opening up to the possibility of a future with Sebastian. His consistent actions had rebuilt the trust she thought was lost forever. One evening, as they walked through the park where they first met, he stopped. "Do you remember this spot?" She smiled softly. "How could I forget?" He took a deep breath. "I want to ask you something." Her heart fluttered. "What is it?" He knelt down, producing a small box from his pocket. "Amara, you've given me more than I deserve. Will you marry me again?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Sebastian." He looked up at her with hope. "I want to spend the rest of my life making you and our children happy." She felt a rush of emotions: joy, fear, love. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I'll marry you." He stood, enveloping her in a warm embrace. They held each other under the starlit sky, the past finally giving way to a promising future. Chapter 17. A New Beginning. The wedding was a simple, intimate ceremony attended by close friends and family. The children's happiness was palpable as they witnessed their parents reunite. As they exchanged vows, Amara looked into Sebastian's eyes, seeing the sincerity and love she had once thought lost. "I promise to stand by your side," he vowed, "to support you, cherish you, and never take you for granted again." She smiled through happy tears. "And I promise to love you, to trust you, and to build a future together." The applause that followed was filled with genuine joy and blessing. At the reception, they danced together, the music a gentle backdrop to their whispers. "It's like a dream," Amara mused. "A beautiful reality," Sebastian corrected, kissing her softly. Chapter 18. Building together. Their life as a reunited family flourished. Sebastian's business acumen combined with Amara's creativity led to new ventures. They expanded the community center, offering more programs and outreach. Together, they founded a scholarship fund for aspiring artists, giving others the opportunities Amara had created for herself. "You're making such a difference, Grace," her longtime friend remarked. "We are," Amara corrected, glancing at Sebastian. He smiled. "It's a team effort." Their home was filled with laughter and love. The children thrived, pursuing their own dreams with their parents' unwavering support. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Amara rested her head on Sebastian's shoulder. "Thank you for not giving up on us," she said softly. He kissed the top of her head. "Thank you for giving me a second chance." She intertwined her fingers with his. "I couldn't imagine life any other way." Chapter 19. Reflections. Years later, Amara stood in her art studio, surrounded by paintings that chronicled her journey. Sebastian entered quietly, wrapping his arms around her waist. "Lost in thought?" he teased. She leaned back against him. "Just reflecting on how far we've come." "An incredible journey," he agreed. She turned to face him. I couldn't have done it without you. He shook his head. You had the strength all along. I was just lucky enough to be a part of it. They shared a tender kiss, the love between them stronger than ever. Chapter 20. Legacy of Love. Their children grew into remarkable adults, each carving their own path. Jasmine became a celebrated writer, Malik pursued architecture, Layla followed in her mother's artistic footsteps, Noah excelled in technology, and Aiden discovered a passion for music. At a family gathering, they all came together, the house filled with joy and lively conversations. Amara watched with pride. Look at them, she whispered to Sebastian. They've become extraordinary people, he agreed. We did well, she said, satisfaction in her tone. He wrapped an arm around her. We certainly did. As the evening drew to a close, the family gathered for a photo. Standing together, Amara looked around at the faces she loved most. To family, she toasted. To family, they echoed, clinking glasses. Epilogue. The Art of Resilience. Amara and Sebastian's story became an inspiration to many. They spoke at events, sharing their experiences of forgiveness, resilience, and the power of love. Their community center continued to flourish, touching countless lives and fostering a spirit of hope. One day, as Amara walked through the halls adorned with artwork from various students, a young girl approached her. Mrs. Williams? The girl asked shyly. Yes, dear, Amara replied kindly. I just wanted to say thank you, the girl said, her eyes bright. Your story gives me hope. Amara knelt to meet her gaze. Always believe in yourself, she encouraged. You have the strength to overcome any obstacle. The girl smiled. I will. Watching her walk away, Amara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Sebastian joined her, slipping his hand into hers, making a difference as always. She leaned into him, just following our hearts. They stood together, embracing the life they had built, a testament to the enduring power of love, forgiveness. As they walked toward the future, hand in hand, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Their journey had come full circle, transforming pain into purpose and forging a legacy that would inspire generations to come.